essentially the last 6 months, and you realise how much goes into making it before the season.
The rules of selling and the parameters have changed quite a lot.
Clients potentially look at these things and go, well, what benefit is there? And I think actually there is huge benefit for everyone involved. Good morning and welcome to the Yacht Show. As you can see, we are in our slightly, at the moment, not quite complete studio, but we're getting there. It's piece by piece, it's a work in progress. And today I'm joined by Spencer Brown, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we've got going on.
That's great to be here in the world HQ of Browns International.
The world HQ indeed. I like the way you put that. And today we're going to do a little bit of a recap of. I mean, basically we're now in June. For us as a business, June's quite an important time.
Busy time.
Very busy time. Yeah. But also it's quite an important time because you look back at essentially the last 6 months and you realise how much goes into making it before the season, essentially. Because June is the reality of the meat of the season. Yeah.
And you realise how much hard work goes on behind the scenes as well. It's not just the stuff. You know, this is all great, but all the talking, all the negotiating, all the arranging and the operational stuff. You appreciate how much goes into this business.
100%, and it's also when things come to fruition a lot of the time. Yeah. A lot of the time it is bringing the client down the journey of getting to that point. But often, as much as we'd love to have it happen in March time, it unfortunately doesn't happen until April, May, June. And then they all happen at the same time anyway. Yeah. But that's part of the game, and that's part of what we love. So we're going to go through a little bit of what we've done in the last 6 months, the vessels that we've sold, the events we've done, the team additions, all of that together as a bit of a recap for the last 6 months. Yeah, okay. So I think we should start with, obviously, the additions of yourself and Jen to the team, making a massive difference to what we do on a day-to-day basis, both on the charter and the sales side of things. It's allowing us a bit more capacity in terms of what we can do, which is fantastic.
And also adding dare I say, a little bit more depth to the team, and breadth to the team, but also adding to the international side of things to make it Browns International. I think that's something very important to say. We were in Croatia last week. We are off to Greece shortly. So, adding that dimension is a big thing for us.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started out, and it was always, we truly did start it as Browns International because we didn't want to be Browns Mallorca, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah.
And so whilst the HQ is here, the whole plan has always been and always will be to make sure that is an international prospect. And as you say, we've been Croatia, we've been Greece, we've got some other bits and bobs in the pipeline in Italy, etc. So there are some really cool things happening. One thing I wanted to touch on is obviously when you brought Recharge as a listing through to Browns. Obviously we jumped into the Palma Boat Show.
Yes.
And I wanted to just kind of give the listeners and viewers a little bit of a feedback as to why we do things like putting a boat in a boat show.
I think, obviously, first and foremost, you want to promote that boat. You want to get as many people through the boat, as much footfall as possible. And that's just not potential buyers. That's also brokers, which are an amazing part of our business. So we have to think about the brethren and the community of brokers and exposing the boat to them so they get to see a really good quality boat. That's really the first and foremost thing for doing it. So the owner benefits from our time spent at the show. I think the other thing to say is that it's amazing to put the Browns name against the likes of in a row against the likes of Fraser and Campers, etc. We are a fledgling brokerage, if you like, and it's great to see us rise to that height in the view of the public, whether that's brokers, whether that's buyers, or the general public.
Yeah, I think I was generally very impressed, and I felt very happy with the way the boat looked. I think it was presented fantastically. The team did a great job. Yeah. The team did a great job in putting it together and making sure that it looked great in terms of where it was. But also, it was a very proud moment for me seeing all of our branding against, as you say, some of the guys that have been in the industry for a long time, for decades. So that was really, really fun and really, really cool. And I think we took away a lot from that show, and we also took away a lot of inquiries, a lot of interest, whether that's from brokers and clients alike. So all in all, Palma's always the show where, because of its time frame in May, you get that touch point with people, don't you?
A positive vibe from it, don't you? I mean, you did an amazing podcast with Arnie, the organizer, and in my mind, I think when you look at that show, obviously I've seen it since you came to it when you were very, very young with me.
15, I think.
But I've seen that show grow, and now it's almost becoming a mini can at the right time of the year. You know, in May with a pulse, the sun's out, people are feeling the vibe of boating and buying. So I think that show's got nothing but a great future.
Absolutely, 100% agreed. From my side, I think I've seen it every year just get that little bit bigger, a little bit better. Some of the Italian manufacturers bringing a lot of product. And I think it's only going to go strength to strength. And like Arnie said on that podcast, this new boat section will be really cool for that show. Yeah. So it's a fantastic event. We will aim to always have a boat there from now on, just purely because of what it brought forward. And no, it was a really good couple of days. Moving into a bit more. Go on, sorry. I was
going to say, I think the other thing to remember about being present at that show is you do amplify your presence in the marine industry world. That's the great thing. You know, the promotional side of things, being at events, networking, fantastic.
I think there's just true, like you say, there's true value in being present at these things, and that's why we're working on a listing to go potentially into the Cannes show if we can, but if not, at least to be on anchor near the Cannes show, so that we truly believe that makes a big difference. I think sometimes you look at these things and clients potentially look at these things and go, well, what benefit is there? Mm-hmm. And I think actually there is huge benefit for everyone involved, whether it's the vessel specifically, for us as a brokerage to be there. And
a benefit to the show.
And a benefit to the show.
Yeah. More fabric, more things to see, brings in more people.
100%. Yeah. 100%. I think the other thing we wanted to use this podcast for is really just to touch on, you know, obviously, I think the thing is, as a brokerage, you often shout about what you've got for sale, and often we don't look back at what we have sold.
Yeah.
So essentially, I wanted to use the opportunity to just go through some of the vessels that we've actually sold, as I think sometimes they can get a bit lost within the new listings and this is for sale, etc. Yeah. So, I mean, this year, as a bit of a recap and a run through, we've done 2 Sunseeker 76 yachts, different ages, different locations.
Yep.
We've done a virtually brand new Fairline Targa 50. We have sold a Princess 62, Princess V60.
Yep. Predator 57.
Predator 57. Yeah, you might have to help me on some of the reminders on this because I can't remember them all now.
Why is that? Because there's so many.
No, I wouldn't say it's because there's so many. It's just, you've always got them and whatever you're doing at the moment in mind. Yeah. And I'm missing one, but it will come to me.
No, I think
that's all of them. So yeah, it's been a good run, and we've got so many things in the pipeline now.
Yeah, I think it's an important note to say there is that is why we do this. We do this to liquidate boats for clients, whether they want to finish boating, and we hope they don't, obviously. But whether they want to move on to their next boat, we do this to sell that boat.
100%.
The effort we put in is the true result of that is the sale, and that's where we have to remember, and that's where the audience really has to understand that's what we do. That's what we love doing. We want to sell their boats. Simple as that.
Well, ultimately, it's the reason for being here, and that's. So as I say, sometimes it gets lost within the new listings, etc. That what we actually do is we sell the product that you give us. You know, we advise on the pricing, we bring in the offers, and the whole concept of what we do is to essentially take that and liquidate it into what the client's after, whether that's to sell it to move on to the next thing or to sell it indefinitely. And I think it comes back to the same thing every time, and that is at the moment from a market perspective, it is a bit of a tough calculation.
Yes, yeah.
I think in the past you could look at something and you could say, okay, it's this many years old, it's got this many engine hours, this is your ballpark.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's become very circumstantial.
That's a lot softer now, isn't it? You know, the rules of selling and the parameters have changed quite a lot, and there's a lot more, shall we just say, a lot more variability about the parameters of the sale. Yeah,
and I think it unfortunately it comes down to just this general feeling in the world, I guess is the right wording.
Yeah. Uncertainty.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of tension in the world. There's a lot of financial things being affected that affect people in ways we would never know, but they are feeling it. So, again, coming back to it, the clarity and the honesty and transparency that Browns gives to the client is so important in these times of change.
100%. 100%. And I think that's what I was going to come to on that negative note almost. It's also very clear that whilst that is the case, as long as the seller understands where we are, understands the position that everyone is in, the buyers are still there. Yeah. We're still selling the product.
And then what really makes the difference, and excuse me, but I frequently use the phrase "selling the sizzle." What really makes a difference is the way we can portray the boat. Yeah. That, as much as possible, can have value add. But the bottom line is it gives the boat presence in the marketplace against others, and that's so important.
Totally agreed. And I think it's a good segue to move through to new listings coming up.
Yeah.
We have some really, really exciting bits and bobs going on. And again, talking about the internationality of Browns International, you've just listed a Sunseeker 88 yacht from 2023.
Yeah, in Croatia.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about that boat, because that's a special boat to you, and to it's a special model, special unit within the models, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the boat, one of its USPs is its interior design. Such a gorgeous, warm feeling to the interior of that boat. Really well looked after by the crew, exceptionally presented. We walked on board and the boat was pop A1. Great specification. Nothing left off the specification at all. A lovely boat. Already a charter vessel with an operation in Croatia. So whoever buys that boat can use it personally or commercially.
Yeah, can step in almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a very much a turnkey scenario. And finally, the owner, I've sold him 3 boats now. We have a great relationship, and it would be just great to see this part of the relationship come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, it looks fantastic. Obviously, we haven't actually launched it whilst we're recording this, but when this comes out, it will have launched. Yeah. And I think it's a lovely piece of kit. We're also listing for example,
you've got 90 Ocean coming up.
Yeah, we've got a 2021, 2022 90 Ocean coming up, which is, it's a fantastic vessel in terms of just layout-wise. It's very revolutionary. It has the full beach club at the aft end. Yep. And that one in particular, it's one I know from you, that one in particular is spec'd within, it was built for the customer itself. Yep. And he went to absolute town in terms of what he chose on that vessel. So in terms of spec, I don't think there's anything that can beat it. It's got some very unique USPs, like the 2,000 horsepower engines, which weren't even an option at the time. So that's a really special vessel, and that one's being offered both as a 100% sale or as a 50% share, which is something that we're seeing a little bit more of nowadays. Before, it was very much you would find that buyers would buy the vessel for themselves. I think now, with time being, whilst COVID has allowed everybody to move around a bit more, or since COVID, you've been able to move around a little bit more, I think time has become something that people still...
it's become one of the main focuses of value. Yeah. Time spent working, but also time spent with family, loved ones, affiliates, friends, colleagues, etc. And I think the sharing of a boat is becoming so much more relevant in today's world.
Absolutely. And so... yeah, that's a fantastic one coming up. We finished with the marketing on that yesterday, so that's going to be a really cool boat. We've got Ferretti 731, not 761. Internal joke, sorry about that. It's not, I'm just a bit dyslexic and kept calling it a 761.
Dyslexia coming in again.
But yeah, we've got a Ferretti 731 coming up in Greece. We're also just listing an Azimuth 50. So there are lots of vessels coming up to the marketplace at the moment, which are obviously very good for us, but also it shows that there is that lack of stock that there's been lots of conversation about is slowly becoming more and more optional in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. The variety of what we're looking at now. Yeah. What you said. Yes, there's a couple of larger Sunseekers at the beginning, but the actual brands we're looking at and thinking about, and clients coming to us are much more varied now, which is great.
Well, and I think it's nice to see that people are starting to, or customers are starting to think about selling the vessel now, June, July, August. Okay, they're not going to sell it for the season, but they're looking at having the conversation of, hey, can you guys help us sell the vessel? Because then we can get the imagery that we want because it's summertime, and we can work through those things. And it makes it much easier for us.
Something so important to stress is that, so many people make the decision to sell in October, November, December.
Yeah.
When the weather's bad, when lighting's bad, when we can't get the boats, we can't get the boats out, all the negatives. If we had our choice, I'm sure we would just shoot boats throughout June, July and August.
Yeah.
All day long, because at the end of the day, then we'd have all that bank of material for the clients ready for when they want to say sell. And it's maybe not possible that year, but maybe for the next year. So I think one of the things to remind the audience, if you're a boat owner, talk to us about picturizing and the material we need to prepare. Give us the best opportunity to do the best for you.
100%. And also, I think the reality here is that the sooner we don't have a problem having the conversation about doing something 12 months down the line.
Exactly.
But the sooner we have that conversation, the sooner we can plan our way into this
and give it the best shot.
Yeah. Exactly that. So definitely a massive point is, talk to us early.
Yeah.
And we'll do the best job.
Yeah, definitely. Can't underline that enough.
I think realistically, as I say, today's the goal of today was to do exactly this: recap everything as much as we could, understand. Get people to understand where we are and what time of the year we're in. And really, just a massive thanks to everybody, and hope that everyone enjoyed the listen. Like and subscribe. I've been told that that's a really important thing to add on to the end.
Well done. You managed it.
And we'll say goodbye for now.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.